I was reading this book that a lady at work gave me called The Red Tent, and it talked about how traditionally, women of culture would go into a tent because all their cycles would be aligned with the moon cycle, and you see it anywhere now. Women hang out together enough, their cycles align. How amazing is that? Yeah. So then, why not gather together and celebrate that and talk about it? So their experiences with their cycles, about becoming a woman, and what that means for them as a woman that's come into her initiation, but also for men, because there's nothing quite similar like that.
No.
But I know there's lots of groups now that have dads or supports or male figure that can take a boy into a week-long bush trip
camping
or something.
Anything they like do that. Activities and things like that.
Yeah, but it's also about, I think, identifying as a male, but identifying as what makes a male is actually being able to talk and opening up emotions too, without it being seen as a feminine thing or a weak thing. And sometimes I hear that for young boys now around the age of 9, 10, where they're like, well, that's a girl and that's a boy and that's it. And it is defined male female roles, but also just being able to be okay if they're upset. Oh, girls get upset more and cry more. I've heard some younger boys saying, it's like, like when are we getting to a point, and what age are we taking boys out and saying, removing them and having that male influence, going, this is what it's like to be a man. It's being strong, but being strong by being
resilient.
But comfortable in self.
Yeah, exactly.
I think with all this big movement on Earth, with men being equal and not being, I hate to say that word, but I guess being supportive against violence and things like that. But it's about men being there for men, because women can't offer that word and relate in that way that men can. So by starting at a young age with young men and saying, okay, it's okay to be comfortable in self. It's okay to be upset. It's also okay to be strong and to hold space and to be you be both. And that's what strength is. It's about being able to be okay with who you are, whatever man you are in yourself.
Spot on, and I think once a boy or a man can develop that strength and resilience in themselves, then it doesn't matter. Like there's no shame associated with being upset or crying or feeling sad about things. There's so much shame put on men or on boys especially, which is the most fucked up thing. To that if they do cry about something that they're seen as being weak. And that was my whole issue around that goddamn Gillette advert, which was like using the framework of shame to try and motivate men to behave better, instead of like just showing that fucking ad. I tell you,
I don't even know what ad you're talking about.
Do you not see that Gillette ad?
No.
About the Gillette came out with like a real like politically correct advert around like the first half was like showing boys misbehaving and men like being assholes and all this sort of stuff, and just real bad things that men do. And then the second half was like all of a sudden the dude's in front of the mirror with his razor, like, but men can be better, can do better and all that. And
that's already instilling in them that they're bad in the first place.
Yeah, they're bad. And
but you can be all right if you use a shaver.
One part of it was just there was like a barbecue and there was some boys wrestling in the backyard. They're just like play fighting, and like, that was seen, the one of the dads saying one of the dads said, oh, boys will be boys, which might not be like the best thing to say, but like, what's wrong with like, me and my mates used to
I did too. I used to do some rough play with my brother who's 5 years older than me.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big part of being a child.
It's a child, absolutely.
And this advert made it just look like, anyway, we'll show it later. But I wrote this big thing on Facebook about it because I got up on my high horse about it. And it was interesting to me, like my older friends and the women included were like, could see like the bullshit behind that ad, but a lot of like people my age and younger just thought the ad was good, and that they couldn't understand why I didn't like that ad, and which is fine. Like everyone has a different point of view, but basically the premise around using shame, but also we've been doing that with women for a long, long time too. Like it's been much more insidious with women, like in shame around marketing for like cosmetics and clothing than this is something.
And a real body,
feeling exactly.
Like, oh my God,
that use of shame has been like used. I mean, the whole idea of unethical marketing. I'm trying to promote ethical marketing as I do my thing, but like unethical marketing is of taking the analogy of it is taking away someone's self-esteem and selling it back to them. And we've been doing that to women for years, and it's starting to encroach on women now. On men now. And for especially like I can't understand from a woman's point of view who's had to put up with this for so long, why they would think that it's okay to start doing this for men. Like why all of a sudden, if it's been such a bad thing, which it has for women to have to put up with shame in advertising, like
then shame men because they've been shamed for years.
Yeah.
I know wrong doesn't work with wrong again. And I think this comes into play in a bigger pitch here, talking about all this stuff, is that sometimes people will go to such a strong belief system in one area so that, you know, rather than being seen as a woman, for instance, from a woman's perspective, that's all about boobs and cleavage and beauty and short skirts, and not there's anything wrong with that. That's by choice. But then to go to the opposite, where it's you know, then you're controlling yourself to be anything but that. Yeah. So where's the middle ground? Where is it okay to celebrate, from my perspective, being feminine with putting a little bit of makeup on and putting a dress on and feeling that inner essence of feminine without it being construed as, well, I'm being a cliche, cliche woman now, and you know, it's like and I feel that this goes longer and stretches longer, but again, coming into not just a woman singularly, but being a parent, being a mother, trying not to be too controlled with the way that you'd want your child to be like that either, or being like, no, my child, stepping outside of that. I know I'm going on a tangent, but this makes sense. But going to that whole thing of, I don't want my child to be like that at all. I'm going to put them in only those groups of people. I'm going to, and that again is controlling. Yeah. You know, like you're trying to control yourself to be too feminine or not to be feminine, or rather than just allowing, how do you feel within yourself to be on that day? Yeah. You know, okay, yes, I want my child to grow up in a way of being aware and aware of others around, but just putting him in silo groups of people that are maybe similar to you doesn't mean that they're going to be like that forever. They have to, like that Captain Fantastic movie, experience other people. You can instill in them what you find is important in life and a belief system, but in the end they've got to see it for themselves. You can tell them everything, you know, until the sun goes down, but at the end of the day they've got to decide, all right, what do I feel is right? Yeah. You know, okay, there's all these computer games and TVs, but rather than just taking that all away from a child, which I think it's important not to have too much technology sometimes, but it's also balancing that with, all right, they've got to learn some elements of that. That's our life moving forward. Sure. This is the society we're going to be in. Yeah. So it's educating them to see what's right for them with, you know, using it and being outside and having playtime. Yeah. And being okay with seeing some kids on the weekend that play it and allowing them to play with other kids. Because if you're taking them away from other kids that's using technology, then you're trying to make a statement that they're different and they shouldn't be doing that. But you know, if they want to, because they're also socializing at the same time with a new group of friends, and that's the medium for them to do that. And you're stopping them because you're controlled thinking of, all right, no, this is the way it has to be because I don't want my kid on a computer or on a computer game. But I think in the end, if you're just watching and allowing them to learn for themselves and balancing it when you can in your own home life, then hopefully that when they are old enough to do things independently on their own, they make the choice that's right for them. Yeah, without feeling like it's what they've been controlled to do their whole lives. Yeah, and instilling in them a confidence to be able to do that, like confidence to go outside the comfort zones, you know. So like for me, like with Layla, like I really like two things I really want to, if I can do these two things better than anything else, I'll be happy about, like instilling in her an understanding of resilience and also just helping her to be capable, just capable to be able to move through the world beyond what I've got like identified for her, so that she, you know, because she might get into like different hobbies and different experiences that I've got not even any concept of, and like I don't want her to ever feel she might feel like nervous or whatever moving into those things, but if like I can help instill within her a confidence that she can go outside of her comfort zone and that she'll be fine, that's, to me, that's like the greatest gift I can give her, like just to be able to allow her to move through the world as an independent woman without succumbing to fear. Yeah, and being aware of sense of self.
Yeah.
You know, just because we like yoga doesn't mean that she will like yoga. Maybe we can practice it around her and show her the benefits. But in the end, if she doesn't like it, then that's okay.
Exactly.